Hi, this is Rajiv Parikh, and this is Position2's Best of the Week for the week of March 1st, 2013. We read hundreds of articles in digital marketing and bring the best of them to you. This week's highlights include: invest in your customers more than your brand. Steal these 3 social marketing tips from top brands. How to tell a visual story. That's you, B2B. Marketing automation, article number 4. Google Panda 2 years later. Losers still losing, and one real recovery. Social SEO insights in the new age of search. A whole bunch of great content this week, so let's get started. Invest in your customers more than your brand. This is an article by Michael Schrage, and it appeared in hbr.org in their large section on advertising. He hits upon how digital has changed everything. Promoting your brand cannot take precedence over providing a greater customer experience. You need to serve them, you need to help them make a better decision. And that's exactly what Jeff Bezos did at Amazon. Instead of doing traditional things like pitching the brand, he invested in a review and recommendation engine so that people can decide on what they want to buy. People can criticize products that are on the Amazon site. Brand building in the digital future is more about advice and education. We already talked about Jeff Bezos and how he redefined e-commerce. Similarly, Apple redefined the retail experience where people could go to open sections of the store, the Genius Bar, and get help on their products. They're not expected to buy anything, they just ask questions about how to make the product they have more useful for them. I bought this Sony camera at a Sony store after bringing in my previous camera and saying, how can I improve the sound quality of this and the visual experience? So with advertising and promotion of today in the digital world, you get this whole experience of showrooming, where anyone can Amazon or Yelp your product and get a better price at a different location. Typical call to actions like a coupon, a buy here now, or an ad, they're viewed with more suspicion than before because people can get so much more information about people's actual experience with your product. So rather than saying, I need to do more advertising and I need to do more promotion, you need to do something better. For example, in the case of IKEA, they basically set up a YouTube channel so that people can learn how to go step by step and set up and install products that they buy from the store. That's usually been a huge problem. At mylowes.com, you can pin different things that you may want in your house to the floor plan of your house and put together wish lists. Maybe instead of talking lizards, hip hamsters, or clueless dads as a way of entertaining people, those things decay pretty quickly. Maybe you ought to be looking at advice and education instead. Steal these 3 social marketing tips from top brands. It's by Todd Wasserman. It was published in Mashable. He has a great way of categorizing different brands. First, he asks the question, why would you follow a brand in social media? Well, it's essentially because the brand connects you to a passion, or entertains you with an engaging personality, or it's because they provide interesting or important information for you. How to categorize these brands? There's passion, personality, and transparency. There are passion brands like Red Bull, which associates itself with extreme sports, or Nike, that associates itself with the everyday athlete, or Whole Foods, that offers recipes to have a great culinary experience. With personality, there are brands like Oreo and their 100-day campaign to celebrate their 100-year anniversary, or Absolute, which has these iconic backgrounds to typify the brand. With Skittles, they have over 24 million followers because they associated with their brand with fun and memorable lines like, the frenemy of my frenemy is my friend. In terms of transparency with brands, there are firms like IBM and SAP. IBM has over 32,000 blogs on technical matters, business applications, new research. It's extremely open. In the financial space, there's firms like Fidelity, which uses its platform to help you make decisions about various financial offerings. For automotive brands, driving is the experience. Passion is about brand association. whereas transparency is how a brand actually performs. So check out the article, it's really interesting. How to tell a visual story. That's even you, B2B, a marketer's guide. This is by Ann Hanley and Nick Westergaard and is published in marketingprofs.com. I really liked it because of a combination of articles, SlideShare, and set of webinars to help companies who feel challenged by the boring content that they have so that they can think about how to create compelling visual marketing content. What's the key problem that B2B firms face? Well, there's this graphic that they have from a survey that they conducted where they found that 62% of B2B content marketers say they're having problems with finding enough content. There's 52% who have issues with providing content that people would find compelling or engaging. There's 45% that are having problems with providing the variety of content that they think people will need. So the folks at Marketing Profs provide a number of different examples. Here's a few of them. There's UNICEF, which provides a Pinterest board to highlight issues that the poorest children are facing. They use the example of Ummi Musa, a 13-year-old out of Sierra Leone, and they use pins to highlight food, healthcare, clothing, education. And when you click on those pins, they then lead you to UNICEF sites where you can learn more or donate. There are Dreamforce exhibitors where they use the hashtag to connect the show to Twitter to Pinterest. I really like this example from McKay Flooring, a tiny flooring firm in Scotland, where they used ebook and microsites and then took that content and amplified it by creating Instagram photos and pinning various items from all that content. And of course there's the premium brand Oscar de la Renta, where instead of simply pitching different bridal gowns, they did a behind the scenes look of a bridal shower and created a whole Pinterest board around that. That got over 32,000 followers. Check it out, really interesting article. Next, there's marketing automation. This is fourth in an article series on marketing automation. And what the article does is takes you through a history of this particular capability and how it moved from software to SaaS-enabled information technology, and as a result was able to accelerate its adoption. What changed? Well, buyer behavior changed. People wanted personalized messages. However, there's thousands of people, so to enable a personalized message is difficult, and that's why these systems are so important. I really like this chart from Eloqua on revenue performance management and how firms who employed this particular model did better than firms that simply cut costs. There are 12 different trends that are talked about in the article. We're going to highlight 3. First, hybridization. Marketing automation systems are starting to add content management capabilities because people want a more personalized website experience. They're also adding channel management software so that channel partners can be incorporated into this overall experience. Second, there are advanced workflows that are being added because in marketing, to release many of these campaigns, you have to involve marketing, sales, legal, operations, and it can get pretty complex, so having these workflows are increasingly important. Then finally, there are advanced scoring models that are being added. They need to build more sophisticated statistical models to gain an edge over their competitors. And so as more people adopt it, it's more important to think about this. So check out the article, it's really interesting. Here's an interesting retrospective on SEO. Google Panda 2 years later. Losers are still losing, and there's one real recovery. It's by Matt McGee and published in Search Engine Land. What he did was he talked about the famous Panda release and what happened to 24 different companies. What is Panda? Well, essentially, it's the Google search index algorithm release that was meant to de-emphasize content farms. In fact, it was nicknamed Farmer for that very reason. It highlights some of these 24 firms. Firms like hubpages.com, squidoo.com, mahalo.com. And using the search metrics tool, it shows a number of different sites and their before and after performance in terms of search visibility. First, let me highlight business.com. There was a huge drop after the February 2011 release. And while they did recover somewhat, they're way below where they were in the past. Then there's Demand Media's ehow.com. They didn't get hit by the initial Panda release in February. They got hit in April 2011 when they updated the algorithm. And while they've shown some recovery, they're still 63% lower in terms of search visibility than before. Now there is one winner in this, and that's motortrend.com. They got hammered initially, but they came back. And not only did they come back, but they came back and did better than they did before because they produce original content that people want to share and discuss and link to. And so you can see the impact of what Google is trying to do and the benefit to the overall search audience. So check it out. SEO Insights in the New Age of Search. This is by Daniel Christo and appears in Search Engine Land. The world has changed, as we saw in the last segment with the introduction of Panda. 15 years of an industry based around keywords and tags and link building has changed dramatically with the introduction of Facebook and social shares and Twitter followers. These are 5 insights to think about with regard to SEO. First, where the signal is coming from. As you see in this search metrics chart, Facebook shares are actually more important than even backlinks when it comes to search visibility. And you see more traditional things like keywords in your H1 or word count as far lower in terms of its impact on search visibility. Number 2, why YouTube? Well, Google owns YouTube, Google+, Google Maps, and they use information from that to provide a more customized experience for the person who's searching. As a result, you as the search marketer have to be more involved. Number 3, new strategy and team roles. The person that runs your SEO, they're into keyword research and analytics. The person who runs your community site is not going to be into those sorts of things. So you need to think about that when you're pursuing this effort. Adjusted KPIs. While conversions and organic traffic are important, rankings have become slightly less important. There are new secondary signals like influence levels or number of followers or content experience. Those now have an impact. Also, Google Analytics has released new capabilities in its tool that include social assisted conversions. Check the article out, it's really interesting. Thank you for joining us this week. Hope you enjoyed the wide variety of digital marketing articles. Please sign up for our newsletter and send us comments either below to marketing@position2.com or tweet us as well. Until next week, this is Best of the Week.